messing around. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb because this next hour is going to be
disturbing.
insane.
I would just like to flag for the people that are just listening to the show and don't watch this on YouTube or see clips on our IG. I forgot what this episode was about. I forgot that there's going to be a whole storyline about my breastises.
Yeah.
And that has not aged well and is slightly problematic. And so today I am wearing a
Turtleneck.
Yes, sir.
Because turtlenecks cover your breasts.
Everything. Everything. I was just like, you know what? This is what I'm wearing for this episode. Turtleneck. Since there was going to be many conversations about this part of my body.
Yeah, I forgot it was that aggressive.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this is straight up like, hey, take him out and let me say bye.
Can you?
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there, you guys.
Anyway.
By the fact that on the rewatch, I got blindsided by it. And then I didn't remember how bad it got. And then I was sitting there, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
But it's almost like the beginning of this episode where Nick kind of explains all of the nicknames he has for the women he's hooking up with. And he goes, if I put the oops on myself, it's about me and my faults and not her. And that's basically, though, how they got away with the breast reduction storyline. They made it about Schmidt being an idiot with severe issues. And that takes the heat off of the CC part of it. But it's still a little problematic. Anyway, let's get into it. Run it down.
Okay. In this episode, Nick fakes being gay and creates a new alter ego, Gay Nick, in an attempt to make Jess's new boyfriend, Ian, feel less awkward about their past. Meanwhile, Schmidt absolutely loses it when Cece mentions she might get a breast reduction, prompting him to do everything in his power to save his two best friends, Harold and Kumar. Elsewhere, Coach tries to get Winston to stop playing his long game with their sexy neighbors, Michelle and Viv. We'll be right back. And this episode was directed by Russ Alsobrook.
Who was our DP?
He was our DP. That's right. Our director of photography.
Yeah. So we got a chance to direct it, which of course makes it a great episode because he knows the show inside out. He helps all the directors with, you know, how they're going to frame it, how they're going to shoot it. Like he's kind of like the whisperer. So the fact that there was no middleman per se, like he just got to do it himself was really quite cool. And he had one of the greatest writers that was ever on New Girl, Berkeley Johnson, wrote it. This is, of course, episode 407, A Goldmine.
When I tell you, Russ, when I directed it, like for all the directors out there, aspiring directors, make your DP, your cinematographer, your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
They help you with everything. They correct your mistakes, make you look good. Russ was like, every step of the way, he would look at my shot list and go, nope, yep. Try this. Okay, yep. So he was great. Okay, let us dive in, shall we?
I will say this. I just want to say that about Russ, another thing. What was so cool about Liz is that she had a lot of friends that were super talented writers that were also thinking of directing. And she gave quite a few of them opportunities to come and direct on our show because it's hard to get on a show. How do you direct for the first time something big? And so she gave that opportunity to them and then set them up for full success because she had Russ there to sit there and support them. And so the episode came out really great. And then a lot of them have gone on to be really great directors, but they needed to get their foot in the door and then prove themselves. And New Girl was a great show to do it on because it just had that reputation of, you know, producing great TV. And so she really did, use her platform to help a lot of female directors kind of launch their careers, which is very cool.
She did. She was the best. She still is the best, even though she doesn't return my phone calls.
That was said at their wedding, remember?
Yeah.
At their wedding, when she married Alex, they gave out Alex's phone number because Liz is so notorious for not responding to texts or phone calls. So you gotta contact the husband.
Yeah, he's Hollywood with me too. They both went Hollywood on me.
They're in New York now.
Been big
time. New York life.
Yeah, I know. Oh, they're in New York now? Jeez. That's stupid. Anyway.
All right. Okay. This episode is crazy funny. I also forgot about all the weird stuff that happens. And the boys, by the way, do give really good advice to her. You can't tell somebody that you're trying to bring home to have some fun with that you live with your ex. You can't.
Yeah, well, I think you can, and it takes a mature person on the other end to accept that. But in the beginning, that's like asking a lot of a person to trust that your situation is cool. In the beginning, it should be fine still because it's like, I don't owe you anything. Like, I just met you. We're going on a date. I live with my boyfriend or I live with my girlfriend, like, or ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. It's so close to the beginning that it should be okay. And now, and then over time, the closer you get, the more you get to know that person that they live with, the more you could possibly be okay with it. But then at some point, it's going to have to change. You know?
I think it's weird from the get-go because in the get-go, when you start dating somebody, you know, it's that point where like the slightest thing, you're like, I'm out. The chew salad weird, I'm out. And it's like, we're going to go back and we're, you know, first of all, if you just say I have roommates, it's already like, okay, so I guess this is going to be a very quiet situation. And then to go like, and one of them I was sleeping with last week and it was very serious. I had big emotional, you know, relationship with him. And I said, I love you. And we loved each other. Then
and his room was right across the hall. Yeah.
You go, no, you got to use it like Nick uses it, which is it's time to leave.
Yeah. If you're an individual who truly believes they're playing a fish in the sea, then sure, you don't have a problem. Like you don't have a problem attracting your partners out there. Then yeah, you could be like, I don't need this. I'm gonna go find Oprah. You know, yeah, should be that easy, right?
Just no problem. Oops, I'm available.
Oprah, I feel like Oprah outside, man. I feel like Oprah just we don't know this about Oprah, but I feel like Oprah just be out here getting it in, just on the low, and don't tell nobody.
Oh, I just hit my that was so my computer just started to have a seizure at the thought of you saying anything unkind or weird about Oprah. My computer just started to like shake. I believe
Oprah is listening.
I love Oprah so much.
Oprah, Beyonce, I believe they are all listening.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Hey, Oprah. Hey Beyonce.
Okay, so
this is happening that she's trying to go and get this guy. How does she say it? How does she do it? Is she going to be emotionally mature and just tell the truth to this guy? Nick is like, do not make up a lie. They offer a bunch of suggestions, which I think are great. Meanwhile, Winston is playing a risky game with the neighbors.
Yeah,
Storyline.
I forgot about. I honestly, I thought they were just in one episode, and I forgot that it's like they live there now.
Yeah, and
I just remember like as I was rewatching this, going, "Oh, is this where Winston's acting like a little bitch?" It's like playing a long game, and the way they would write it and set me up, it made me look like such a simp, such a cuck. I'm like,
you know what though? It's not the worst strategy. Right?
I mean,
to sit there and go like, I'm going to just sit here and be the hero every day for these women. I'm going to be the hero. I'm here all day. I'm also here all day. So that if any dude comes in, kind of like the situation across the hall, they're going to be like, who's this like good looking guy hanging out here doing all this stuff with you? And so then that guy might go. And so it's not a terrible strategy that Winston has, except for it's like he's not creating moments of opportunity to change the nature of the relationship, which is a bit of an issue.
Right. And we see obviously at the end, we'll get there, but it was weird.
It was sad and weird at the end.
Very sad. Very, very sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then here comes the moment. We're going to kick off this storyline. Good God.
Okay, go ahead.
It's so weird. It's so weird. So Cece is looking through Jess's bras.
Mm-hmm.
What an intro to the storyline.
We've all done it.
Just dug through a bra drawer. Just imagine.
No, when I'm at my boy's house. I'm always going through their underwear drawer. To be like, let's see what we got here. What we got? Can I rock this? Can I rock that? This is simple. You know,
just normal. Can I just rifle through your panty drawer?
Yeah,
it's no big deal. We're friends. The fact that Jess is just like, okay, fine. Like nothing's gonna fit you. I don't know what you're doing. I remember though reading this script and I was like, how weird is this going to be? And I was actually very concerned because it does say that she shows them. And I'm like, how are we pulling this off? Like, I feel so uncomfortable about it. But they did it in a way that was fine and funny and made sense.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing I will say. I will say is that I remember being 15, 16 and telling my mom I wanted a breast reduction.
When you were 15 and 16?
Yes, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I remember telling my mom that. And she basically had the reaction that Schmidt had.
Yeah, I'm like, was she 15 or 16, did she question you, on whether or not you knew what you were talking about or what that entailed?
She knew what I was talking about, and she was wise enough to know that it was really just societal pressure. And I know that sounds strange, but every single magazine, different magazines than 15-year-old boys are looking at, but every magazine that was geared towards girls, the girls were just like super rail thin, and they had just like t-shirts that would just kind of like hang effortlessly, or it was just different. And I looked like a grown woman, and it was just weird. And I just thought, like, this is a focal point. I would like it just to be quote unquote normal and feel normal. And so my mom was like, why don't we wait? Why don't you wait? And we'll talk about this in like 10 years from now. And then she said something that was crazy, which she knows that I was going to share today, which is crazy because she was just like, let's just see when we get the first complaint about them, shall we? As in, you're feeling all this body pressure from women and from what the standard of women is supposed to be and how they're supposed to look and how thin and how small all your body parts are supposed to be. And she was just like, you haven't started dating and going out in the world, but you're also going to see there's a lot of love for your body, which hopefully then will make you realize you got a great body. So just like, wait, you're getting information from the world that's forming things in your brain about what to love and not to love about your body. Just wait. There'll be more information coming.
Well, I feel like you knew a lot of information at 15, 16 because you were a bartender.
I was working at a bar at 15 years old.
So ridiculous.
But those guys were all like my brothers, man. They kept me so safe in that bar. It was good to work at that bar. Anyway, all that to say, it was funny to sit there and hear this thing about I want a breast reduction because it brought me back to like a real conversation I had. And then someone who loved me, who basically was like, let's just take a beat before you do some major surgery. Let's get more information from life and from the world, and you could figure this out for yourself later.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting a reduction too, but we ain't got to talk about that. We ain't got to talk about that. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wait till next week when we talk about the ruler episode and all the rappers that are lying.
I don't know why I said that.
Such a good line. The next episode. Okay. All right. So then Schmidt hears down the hall, Cece talking about the breast reduction surgery comes. I mean, it's the funniest as they stand, Jess and Cece stand and just hear the footsteps getting louder and racing like breakneck speed. And she opens the door. She's like, wonder who this could be. He comes busting in, screaming no.
It was so funny because you are basically whispering this to Jess in the room. And you just hear him screaming on the outside and flying down the hallway.
Which means the room's got to be bugged. Every time Cece comes over, he just like sits there and like listens to like the bug in the room.
No, when it's Cece, he just listens. Like
he's just like hyper aware.
And I love the fact that even with that stalker-like behavior, Cece still loves him.
You know what? It's weird though. You just like have that weird friend and you just know. Like their weird isms and everything, you're just like, they're harmless. So you don't get offended by them. When you love someone and know somebody that deeply versus a stranger. Like if Nick had said it, Cece would be like, I'm calling the cops immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's a difference in your relationships and how you know people and accept their weirdness. And I think that that's the sweet dynamic of like Schmidt and Cece.
I get it. I get it.
All right. So then Schmidt goes to the bar. He goes through his weird phases of anger, depression, denial, acceptance, being a crazy person. And then we're back with Winnie and Coach.
Yeah. Winston is telling Coach that he doesn't want to stray from his long game. You know what I mean? He's still got some things worked out. Coach is letting him know basically that having sex is not about planning ahead, man. You just gotta seize the opportunity. And then Coach pitches a crying Schmidt on hanging out with 4 new boobs. It's so funny how we're personifying breasts just to make we're personifying breasts, and we do it again later on in this episode when he's comparing Coach and Winston, and there's a lot of confusion. But it's so funny. In order to make this stuff okay, that we have to keep it personified. We have to, like, instead of just straight up saying it, we're like, call him Harold and Kumar. You know, he's like, hey, can I introduce you to 4 new, you know.
He goes, on 2 different women?
Women.
Which is also, what's that as a response? Those things kill me. Is there a 4-boobed woman out there that we don't know about? You thought you were going to meet her tonight?
Yeah, you ever been to West Virginia? I mean, they got some things over there.
The boobs up here, the under boobs under here.
Yeah, some Total Recall stuff.
All right. So Jess is now trying to, like, get up the courage. She's going to handle this in a mature way, right? So she's like, we're going to take you back to my place. It's a cute little moment. Then she has to say she lives with her ex, and she has to tell him that it was serious and that they did say, I love you. And he's like, I'm out. You know, I've been on a bunch of weird dates. I don't want another weird experience in my life. I'm like maxed out on the weirdness. And then she starts to take on the guy's script from the beginning, where she's like, there's nothing to worry about.
He's gay.
He's gay. And it's maybe... Again, it's like the weird thing of the Schmidt and Cece, like her accepting his absolutely inappropriate weirdness, that you see that there's like true chemistry there. The level that Nick tries to go, even though he's so bad at it, the level that he tries to go to support her hookup is nothing but love, which is what the guy calls out at the end. He's like, this man's in love with you that he would even try when he's clearly terrible. What is he? I'm terrible at lying, but I'm great at make-believe. He's also terrible at make-believe.
Oh, God. Anyway, so Jess tells Nick a lot about his backstory. He tells her he's not to put him in a box. Don't put him in a box because gay men hate that.
So funny.
We're going to get back into Nick being gay or faux gay.
When
we come back, Fagay, he's a Fagazy. When we come back. And we are back
our
podcast. We're back to the Mess Around podcast with Hannah Simone and Lamorne Morris.
So if you were trapped on an island and you could only bring 3 LPs with you, which records would you like to listen to? Emmy Award winner Lamorne Morris will now answer the question.
LPs? I thought you meant little
Not
people.
Long pieces. Records.
There's only room for one. But Benson Boone is my new favorite artist.
Benson Boone.
Oh my God, fun.
Magical man he is.
Yeah, I just saw him perform last night again. That's the first time seeing him perform. Went to some event, but he's a buddy of mine.
Benson Boone?
Yeah, randomly, me and Jake, I don't want to say buddy, I say acquaintance, but we're becoming buddies.
Ooh.
Probably not. But anyway.
This is a manifest moment? You've never seen him or met him,
he's such a great performer.
Isn't he American Idol? Did someone just tell me that the other day? He came off American Idol and they did a full like Harry Styles glow up on him, right?
Yeah, I believe so. He was like, we were at a basketball game and it was me and Jake at the Lakers game. And Benson was sitting right in front of us. And Jake, like a little bitch, was freaking out. He was like, that's Benson Boone. That's Benson Boone.
He likes Benson Boone?
Yeah.
I'm impressed he knows who he is.
Yeah, and when he turned around, Benson Boone turns out Benson Boone's a big New Girl fan. New Girl fan. Yeah, and was like, oh my God, he asked us for a photo. So we take a photo.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he asked us for a photo. We took a photo. We started following each other on social media. And yesterday, him and I were DMing that I was coming to the show. And and he was just like, met up after the show. hung out, like hung out at the event, and yeah, I was like this. And what's so cool about it is that day I was playing a song that he had just released, and I was like, my God, this song is great. This man is on fire. Like this new song is going to be on some Adele ballad shit, song about his mother, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And then he performed it that same day, like later that same night. I was like, my God, what is my life, man? What is my life?
Benson Boone performed like your new favorite song.
Yeah, such a cool.
And you guys are like in each other's DMs.
Hey,
Benson,
man.
come on the podcast. Come here. If you love New Girl so much, I challenge you. Come here. We'll do a New Girl quiz for Benson. Let's see how many you get right. And if you win, you sing. And if you lose, you sing.
I remember I posted, who was it? Rick Glassman. I posted a video of him performing yesterday. And Rick was like, how many backflips did he do?
Yeah. I saw it at Coachella. It was wild.
The dude is insane, man.
I feel like Benson Boone would be able to channel a better gay Nick than gay Nick did.
Well, Benson be showing his titties a lot. Can I say that?
I don't know.
He always got his shirt. He always got his memories.
I don't know. We're
out.
about to have a whole scene talking about mine, so I guess we can talk about Benson's.
He's always showing off his Harold and Kumar. His Harold and Kumar.
I feel like if Benson's a real New Girl fan, he will not mind this. Benson, we love you. Please come on our show. Okay, so we're back. Yes. And this is the part. Oh my God, this part. Okay, I was by myself during the rewatch, and I cackled in a way where I was like, "Someone's going to call the police because there's no way she's alone." When Max picks up the little Clementine oranges, and the girl's just over here, then Damon tries to pivot about what he was talking about, which Schmidt doesn't hear, and then the girls think it's about you and Damon.
Yes.
And then the most offsides thing that I feel like that Max Greenfield has had to say on this show in the longest time about you two, which is about the oranges, which is about the breasts. Yes. It's so complicated. And then the scene ends with you two bouncing.
Bouncing.
I swear I nearly passed away.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. I mean, him comparing them by color. He's like one slightly brown. It's like, if you didn't pay attention, but one slightly browner than the other.
And Daddario's face, right? Because she's just like,
what?
Her jaw is literally on the ground. Because I'm sure because as an actress, you still have to choose your reactions and play it as if he's talking about these two men.
Yeah. Yes.
It is crazy then how do you choose your reactions? Because you feel so humanly uncomfortable with what is actually happening.
Oh God. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this is right. This is right at that moment where they get kicked out. Yeah. But the girls kick Winston and
I did skip over some of the funniest stuff in the entire world, which is that Coach and Winston come up with a thing that they're leaving for 44 weeks to sell socks. Absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
And that Schmidt's entry line is, I just cried on my penis while I was peeing. Also insane. One of my favorite scenes now. That is going to go into like my top 10 all-time favorite scenes.
I could tell you that as a man, I could tell you that happens more often than you.
You cry on your penis?
Well, people don't. Well, because sometimes it's just there and it's in the way, and you don't know where your tears are going to go. Because some people are projectile criers, and you don't know where it's going to like, it cascades down, it rolls, it drips, it bounces, it pops. Sometimes my pecs are so tight. I just feel like
if you're crying while you're peeing, maybe just sit down. Maybe just do a sit down pee if you're that distraught.
Who says you gotta be peeing while you're crying on your penis? You could be on a nude nature jog, and you can see a beautiful, beautiful sunset, or a beautiful flower, or a hummingbird.
Please,
mating.
Can someone animate Winston on a nude nature jog crying? Just
onto his own penis.
No, why? God. Why does my brain work like that? When you say something, I see it, and I don't want to see that. In animation
form, you're going to see it, Hannah. You're going to see this often in animation form. Somebody out there will make this. Somebody with good
Nude
AI
nature
skills.
jog. Do. That's where he was crying. Well, okay, so then Max gets back from his nude nature jog, cries on his penis. Everything goes left with the 44 weeks and the socks and the bouncing. And so the girls wisely kick these men out of the apartment.
Yes, I think that's important. I think that's very much so appropriate.
And everything then goes sideways for everybody because the next morning, Jess wakes up next to Ian. And then classic Nick Miller.
Knocks on the door.
Could not be a good wingman to the end.
I mean, but to be fair, okay, so what happens is, he knocks on the door and he lets her know that he's screwed up because he's hooked up with a woman and she's there.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, this is an easily fixable problem. But again, we're in TV world.
That's right.
There's no issue there. He was in his own private room with a woman. Have her put her clothes on and stay
leave.
in the room or go home.
But the problem is, I think, was what he has learned is this woman won't leave.
Yeah, we
right?
figure that out later.
Yeah, I think he's kind of clocked that, it seems like he had a great way of getting all these women out quickly. And this woman is like, not. And so that's why he's like, I've messed up.
Or you know what I like to do? You know what I like to do?
What?
To get people to leave? Hey, let's go get a coffee.
Or you know what? Stay in the room with her. Just stay in the room. Round 2. Whatever you do.
Nah, you can't keep doing round 2 because then that's going.
You're like, I need breakfast. I don't care that much.
Yeah, I got to refuel, retool.
I need eggs. Stay in the room.
But what if she got to go drop a deuce?
This is why he's like, so he comes out and he's like, I'm just going to be transparent. Here's the thing. I don't know why this would feel shocking. Like, why can't he just be bi? Why can't he be like, he obviously was with Jess and now he's dating men. Can't he just be like, oh, I'm just.
Well, because that's even worse for his case now because.
Oh, everybody's on the table.
Yeah. He's like, now it's like, oh, okay. I didn't turn myself off from women. Like I still date women.
This is
so
true.
He's like, wait, what? Now Ian doesn't know whether or not if that's the case, Ian doesn't know whether or not he's fully engaged with men because he could just today or tomorrow.
It's true. He did present it like gay Nick. He didn't say bi Nick or curious or fluid Nick.
Yeah,
you're right. Okay, like, so my idea wouldn't work.
You're lying gay, bro. Okay, where are we at?
Okay, so then Jess is like, you know what? I'm going to take care of it because I'm just going to go full crazy X on her. And trust me, she's going to run screaming and she goes in. But the girl kind of out crazies her and is just like, no, I don't care. Like the last guy I dated was 80 years old and I just prayed he didn't die every day. So I'm like good with whatever this situation is, which is amazing.
We've all been there. I used to date an 80-year-old woman and I had the same thoughts. You know what I mean? Just stick around for a while.
Just stay here. I love you.
Yeah, she was loving.
All right. So Coach tries to have Winnie's back because he's like tired of watching these women manipulate his friend Winston. And he's kind of right. So he goes in, he apologizes for trying to manipulate them and then says, but also you're not off the hook because y'all have been doing the same kind of thing to Winnie.
That's right. You've been manipulating him for months, thinking that, using your sex to get him to do stuff. And they say that they haven't been using sex to get Winston to do stuff. And Winston is a little bit, he's a little, hurt by that. He's like, oh, you haven't? That's what I thought you guys were doing. I thought I was about to get in there. And then they rock, paper, scissors.
Well, Coach is like, listen, he's done. He's not going to help you anymore. And they still need their floors done and their shelf done. Right. And then, this choice.
This, I don't know how I feel about this moment, just because we're in the future and there's different things to think about. But I'm like, did he just say, I'll fix your floors for some squish? Basically, so is that what's happening? Like, basically, it's like they can't afford. First of all, they live in a very expensive apartment.
Very expensive apartment.
And you mean to tell me, like, their apartment is exactly the same as our apartment.
Yep.
And we have a lot of people living in there paying rent. Right. And it's just them two. So they clearly have the money, what I mean, to just have someone, first of all, why are you redoing a floors in a rental? That's just kind of. All right, but as hanging shelves, I just thought that was a really interesting idea that they would go, okay, well, I'll I'll sleep with you.
The way she was like, it's me. I was like, oh my God, what? But then they do a turn, which is nice, just for everybody's dignity. Where she's like, we're kind of into it. All right, let's make it cute. Let's go have some fun. And when he's like, good enough for me.
It's like, bring a pencil and a hard hat. Safety
runs
goggles.
down the hall. Feels slightly problematic to sit there and like blackmail the women, and the women are kind of like doing their own version of blackmail. It feels very strange.
Well, then it's mutual at that point. You know, if both parties are agreeing that we're manipulating each other to get stuff that we want. And it
does feel weird to have sex be transactional, the boobs thing. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in this episode, but it truly is the magic of New Girl sometimes, where you love them so much, you know that their intention is good. Because here's what's so smart about how they build their characters is that deep down, you know that Winnie is not just trying to get some squish. Deep down, he wants to be in a relationship. He wants to be loved. He's actually trying to win like true favor. Right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to sit there and play the long game to be in a relationship and to do this thing. And that's what you believe as like an audience member. And so you're kind of just like, ooh, well, maybe this will like, she'll see how great Winnie is. And then they'll be together for a while. That's why it doesn't feel gross. Where on the surface, it should feel gross.
Should feel disgusting.
It should feel
disgusting. You know, because if that was the case, I could tell you I would have become a carpenter a long time ago.
It's worked out for a lot of people.
Jesus was a carpenter. Anyway.
Ian, then this thing, the scene between Ian and Nick Miller, and then the end, you know it's coming. That's the greatest thing, because I had forgotten it, and I'm just sitting there being like, they better have Schmidt walk in. And just be Schmidt. And it's going to sit there and validate Nick's whole story. Just by him being Schmidt.
Yes.
It's beautiful because he's totally in the weeds. He's covered in sweat. The lies are like unraveling and getting weird. Mm-hmm. And Schmidt saves him.
Oh my God. It was such a funny moment. To me, that's like that was the perfect scene in this episode.
Yeah.
When everything comes to a head and it plays out perfectly. And it didn't feel like a stretch.
No,
it didn't feel like
I was safe. I
was safe.
It was perfectly written it's the same as the Clementines and the walk away and the comeback, and then one's browner than the other. Like they did a perfect thing in the writing where everybody's going along with it. And but the audience knows how ridiculous we're talking about different things, fully different. They did it twice in the same episode.
Exactly. Back to back.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. I thought that was a very, 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 at the end when Nick is looking at Ian almost as if we almost got him. Here's the cherry on top. Schmidt, kiss me.
I know.
Kiss me. And he does it. And obviously Schmidt is like, first of all, Schmidt's gay. Like this, Schmidt loves this. It's like, I can't wait. This has been my moment.
Right, but waiting for it.
And he does it, and it works perfectly because his response to him is that your beard is at the perfect.
I know.
Like, don't trip.
He felt stubble.
All things that conversation would have happened the exact same way, minus some of Nick's lines, but Schmidt would have been the exact same way if Ian were not there.
100%. That's what I'm saying. Ian became invisible, and somehow Schmidt saves Nick until the crazy lady will come at the end. Okay, so before we get to that, Schmidt barges into Cece's consultation.
Oh boy.
This was a scene I was really worried about. And I remember talking a lot to the producers about it because I'm like, how are we doing this reveal? Where's the shot? Where's this going to look like? And they were just like, literally, it's the top of your shoulder and your face. It's a reaction. And then you are barely not even in frame. And it's going to be all of Schmidt just doing his big emotional goodbye. And the only thing that you're going to hear is him actually talk about how much he loves Cece. And I was like, okay. And they did. They did a great job of like selling this as a super funny story of how Cece, they used all the reaction shots of Cece showing that it was inappropriate, uncool, not okay. This is crazy. But
Yeah.
then also realizing that, man, guy loves, it could honestly, the way it was kind of shared to me is like, this could be about her toes. You know, like it's any
Mhm.
part of her body. He just loves her so much. He loves everything about her to change a hair on her head. And then they just
Mhm.
chose the craziest thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah.
weird.
Shout out Harold and Kumar. Yeah.
We had Cal Penn on the show.
Yeah, did we?
Yeah, we had him on when we did the...
I know we had Cal Penn. He was a cat agent, I want to say.
Yeah, he was
But-
something like, he was when we were doing the heist. And I feel like we got locked away or something like that. He was, it was something.
I want to say Harold and Kumar were both on the show.
We had Harold and Kumar. You were right.
That's right.
In real life. We had John Cho and Cal Penn.
Yes. That is correct.
That's hysterical. That we've never even put that together. I bet you the fans have put that together. Harold
put
and
it
Kumar
together.
and then Harold and Kumar were on
Yeah, I
the
put it
show.
together.
Man, New Girl. This happened to the show runs long enough. Weird things that are definitely not intentional.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Happen.
I love it's an interesting moment where unless you just talked about this, I know you hinted on it a little bit, but when he's wearing the headphones and he's saying goodbye. I was like, yeah, it was such a funny moment because I can guarantee you that Max was actually probably saying things
For sure.
and just being a little bit more Schmidt with his physicalities. But I can also assure you that in the script it said it was probably just gestures that he was making to make it feel like he was saying stuff, and he decided he's actually going to say real things.
For sure, they had a pack of alts for him too, to sit there and be
Yeah.
like, just in case,
Mhm.
say all these things, and then like shoot a
Just in case you
basketball
do
and
them.
do finger guns and get weird.
Oh yeah.
He did play it though beautifully. That's the one thing about Max is he's got like such an incredible like dramatic range, and he
Mhm.
places it perfectly in a comedy show, which sells the heart of something because it's so absurd to be that serious about something so ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But you believe him. He's like crying
Yeah. Yeah.
at the
I would be too.
consultation. He's
I
not
would be
supposed
too.
to be at. I would be too.
Let me tell you something.
Go.
Let me tell you, if I go through with this reduction, I know some women that's gonna knock down the doors in my doctor's office. You know,
Give me the
they're gonna be
leftover
like,
bit.
Yeah. Let me just have a memento. I just want a memento.
Gonna plant it in my garden. Oh my gosh.
Oh
How
my
could we make
gosh.
this weirder? Okay, so then they're in the bathroom. This is the end of the show. They're waiting for Winston in the shower.
That's
And
right.
then they realize that they're the weird ass clowns. That all
Mhm.
of all these people that they've been dating and
Mhm.
sleeping with, they go home to their group of friends and talk about the weird experience they just had. And they realize that, oh, it's us.
Yeah, we're the weird ones.
We're the weird
And then-
ones.
And then Winston walks into the bathroom.
Right.
And then to reveal that it's actually Nick's one night stand
Right.
who is in the shower.
Peeing in the shower.
Peeing in the shower, which, you know, we can put a poll up right now and see, you know, who pees in the shower, who doesn't pee in the shower. But I'm guilty of it.
I feel like everybody pees in the shower.
I think
or
everybody's
has
gonna
peed in
lie.
the shower.
Yeah, they're gonna lie and say they don't.
For sure.
But it's the same. It's going right down anyway.
It's
you know,
going
what's the
down
worst?
Drain.
What's the worst if your drain is clogged and you pee in the shower? Then there's no.
This is know your shower, I guess.
No, yeah, don't pee in. Well, first of all, just how about this? Don't pee in somebody else's shower. If you gotta pee in your own shower. Don't pee.
It's
in
also
somebody
weird
else's.
because the shower is usually like very close to a toilet.
Yeah,
You could
Like,
just
you could just-
pee and then get in the shower.
yeah, go handle it that way.
You can do whatever you
People,
want in
know.
your house in your shower, but it is weird
Yeah.
to be like, I'm in somebody else's
Yeah.
spot.
And
Mind you,
you
if
know,
you're showering there, you're probably pretty comfortable with that person. So, what's a little
Yeah.
pee washed down the drain?
famous last words.
You know what the famous last words are? Is Schmidt comparing himself to being Harold and Kumar's Schindler.
Oh boy,
Wild
yeah.
ending to that
Oh yeah.
C storyline.
He saved the boobs. He saved her boobs.
He said
He's
that
the
your
Schindler.
children will leave rocks on my graves. Their boobs. All right. That is one of the greatest, funniest, weirdest should be problematic and somehow not. Episodes of New Girl. And when we come back, we gonna
Mess around. And we are. Hannah, we're back.
We're back. We weren't even gone that long, but it still feels good to be back.
Oh my God. Babe.
Yeah, babe.
Have you lived with an ex? And can people really ever make living with their ex work?
No.
And we really?
I have never lived with an ex.
Oh, okay.
If it's over, it's done. You know me. If it's over, I go, see you later, delete your number. We're done. We're gone. I wish you the best. I hope you have a really wonderful life, but we don't need to be like friends.
Yeah.
You have a very different situation, probably more mature than mine. But I'm done. So because of that, I have never lived with an ex. That would be bonkers.
So have you lived with someone broke it up and then moved out? Was that the case?
I always had my own place.
Okay, so you never lived with other than husband.
No, I've never lived in a place where they didn't give up their spot or I didn't give up their spot. That's right.
Okay.
I haven't, and I remember a boyfriend bought a house for us.
Oh.
Bought a house, and I did not give up my apartment. Because I was just like,
ungrateful.
I don't know. So we lived together. When I was with somebody, I always lived with them full time, never touched my apartment. But when it was over, I was like, goodbye.
The house was dope. The house was so cool.
It was a cool house. Do you remember?
I remember. I tried to buy it. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
I tried to buy it.
Well, good thing you didn't.
Yeah.
There's some weird mojo in that house.
Oh God.
No, because of the people that sold it to him. That was a whole crazy story.
I know. He came up.
Crazy energy in that story. So no, you've lived with an ex. I feel like yes. You probably have like 3 exes living with you now because you're kind and generous. You let anybody stay with you.
No, I did live with an ex though in the past, but it was a young situation. Someone that I dated when I was much younger, and we dated kind of long distancey, and then she moved to California after we had already been broken up, and we lived together. The tricky part about that was that we were definitely rekindling. Often.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It was almost like we started dating again in a way. But ultimately I moved out.
Right.
Got on a new girl and was like, I got money now, dog. I don't need no help with this rent, guys. So I moved out. And what's funny about it is that for years, her and then a couple other girls lived in this place, and my name was still on the lease. So every time I would go over there, I would act like it was my place.
What's mine is mine. Okay, what's the best way to tell a friend they shouldn't go through with a cosmetic procedure they are contemplating doing? Can I just say something right now? Mind your business.
Oh, you saying if your friend wants to go through a cosmetic procedure, just let them do it?
Whatever they want to do, let them do it. Unless they're asking you. If they're asking you, do you think, then tell your truth. But if someone is just like, I'm going to go get my nose done, mind your business.
Well, what if, you ever see those people, like, here's the thing. I'm okay with that too. Like, go, if you want to get work done or whatever, that's your body. I don't care.
Okay.
But it's when people take it too far that it becomes a concern, because then it feels like it becomes a mental disorder. Where it's like when people have this dysmorphia of what they look like and they go, okay, I'm going to check. They keep doing it. And they keep doing it, and before you know it, they end up looking like Catwoman.
But if they're asking for help, are they saying like, "Hey, what do you think? Should I do it?" I think that's a different thing. To be like lovingly, to be like, if you really are asking me, then this is what I'll share with you.
But that's the question. The question is, the question is, how do you tell them they shouldn't? So if they are asking you, what do you say? I say,
okay, tell me, what would you say?
I show them pictures of like botched procedures. I go, this, so you could look like this, and I show them a picture of like, Denzel Washington. And I go, or you could look like this. And then it's a picture of when Martin got beat up by that boxer in the episode of Martin, and his face had the lumps all over it. He looked crazy.
It's a picture of Martin that's going to talk the woman out of getting her
Well, it's going to be a woman
I
who
don't
gets
even know what they're called.
men get work done all the time.
I know they do. Here's what
You
I
know?
will tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. Here's a flip on that question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never had anything done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've never done a Botox, a filler, a whatever, like nothing. I don't even go for like facials. I don't do anything at all. I wash my face. I wear makeup. That's what I'll do. But I've never done anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of people who have told me I should.
Oh.
So
Your kids don't count. Your kids don't count. They don't know yet.
I'm telling you, no, grown people have said to me, they're like, that thing right there, you could just, and it'll be better. Or your lips, they could be like this. And it's so funny to me. So like this question is about how do you tell someone not to go through with it? Like the freedom people have to suggest you should get some work done is, how do you stop that from happening?
Right.
I genuinely feel it's almost like a weird sickness for me where I'm just so curious to know what I'm going to look like. Like, I like the idea. I feel really privileged to age, like
Right.
if you have lost friends when they're younger or whatever, you realize that every day you get to be here. You're so lucky to be here. And I'm just curious to know, what am I going to look like at 55, 65, 75? And if I alter anything in my face or put things in or out, for me, I just wonder what I would have looked like. And also, to everybody that's doing all the things, I think that's great. Whatever makes you feel great. It makes me feel great to kind of go like, ooh, this thing is happening today. And for other people, they do other things. I think it's great. That's why I'm saying mind your business. Don't tell me to get work done. And I won't tell you not to get work done.
Oh, that's why you're so angry about this. I see.
I'm trying to make a deal. I'm trying to make a deal with everybody.
Hey, this is personal. All right.
It's personal.
Well, never mind all the things I said.
This is a very personal episode about boobs and Botox, you guys.
All right, I know. Crying on penises. Anyway.
Okay,
well,
what a
guys,
Goldmine today was. My goodness,
100%.
really got into it.
100%. Thank y'all for listening. As always, we really appreciate it. Please show us some love. Show us some love by clicking that notification bell. Hit that like. Make some comments. Share with your friends. Follow us on IG at the Mess Around Pod, and go ahead and get some of that merch. We don't have turtlenecks yet. Like Hannah's rocking right now, but we will very, very soon.
We have some great
turtlenecks.
merch, you guys. You've got birthdays coming up or something, and someone's a New Girl fan. Be like Benson Boone. Go get yourself some New Girl merch. We should send Benson some New Girl merch. Ooh, Benson! Merry Christmas.
Well, he wears like sparkly blouses, so we need to come up with
it for
some
him. Does he want some rhinestones on a mess around sweater?
Oh yeah.
Slide into his DMs and say Hannah Simone wants to know if you want a rhinestone mess around sweater.
Let me hit him right now. Hold on. Hannah wants to know. Let's see. I got it right there. Open.
Like
that's a nude. Who's that? Okay. Yep. Oh, got it. Boom. He just said, all right, cool.
Done. Locked. Be like Benson Boone. Get your sweater at themessaroundpod.com. Also, if you have any thoughts about what we just said, we said a lot today. If you have any thoughts about what we just said, email us at themessaroundpod@gmail.com. We address all those questions, thoughts, stories that you have to share on our loft meetings. So yeah, let us know.
Yes, please do. We love you, and I hope you love us back, please.
Bye.
Bye.
That was The Mess Around, an iHeartMedia production.
Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our senior producer is Abu Zafar. Bei Wang provided engineering and editing services.
Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson.
Catch you next time.
Bye.